second game went to Soneto and Sirens, a team that I don't know too much about, with a 5 elim win, but I do want to show you the reaction. This isn't from either the players, this is from their coach, and I gotta say, if your coach is not this excited when you win a game or qualify, you need a new coach.
Solo died. You don't need to drop yet.
I'm looking down. 2v1, 2v1. Go down.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! You were so good!
So that's actually a good one. So I was playing the game for a while. Like I wanted to play it like competitively, just like everyone else out there. You know, I wanted to perform at a high level and be a pro. So I was playing some scrims, and one of those old scrim servers kind of had like a ladder system where you could like climb up into better like discords. And I placed well in a couple of those ladders and kind of like worked my way up, and I met a couple of kids through those ladders who were really good. Like they just completely obliterated my teammate and I off spawn. And they came into my stream, and I just started talking to them about random stuff, and they're like, hey man, like you seem pretty smart, like do you want a VOD review with us? And I was like, sure. And we started VOD reviewing, and they're like, hey, like you actually, like we didn't know a lot of this stuff about the game, like you taught us a lot, like you could actually be like a pretty good coach. And I was like, you think so? And they're like, yeah. And so I did some live coaching for a player named Immortal in solo cash cups. We helped him qualify to finals. I think we're like one placement off money or something like that when I was coaching him. So that was very disappointing, but obviously it just kind of like spiraled from there. And I went to a couple of in-person events. So like DreamHack Dallas was probably like the first place where like I really started to meet people and network and like get my name out there. And that was where I met Ritual, actually. And then the following season, he introduced me to TK as well. And kind of just, that's how I got my start, man, was just networking and you know, helping other people out that I knew, that I was friends with. But it makes it even crazier when you realize that like during that entire time I was actually an Uber driver. And this is I guess this kind of like, I posted this on social media during DreamHack Atlanta, but I picked up one of Laylam's friends because he's from the same state that I'm from, and you know, me and his friend got to chatting, and we were like, yo, like, he was like, do you know who Laylam is? And I was like, yeah, like I'm kind of like a big fan, like I know he's pretty good at the game, and he actually got me on FaceTime with him. So that was probably like one of the crazier things that's happened, was just being able to talk to Laylo and be like, yo dude, like you're gonna know who I am soon, like, you know, I'm working hard trying to like produce content and et cetera, and you know, I finally got to meet him kind of at DreamHack Atlanta. So it was kind of like that's what was something that was really crazy, you know. Oh, it's hard to pick one, because like this most recent grand finals was like huge for me. You know, I got to work with this team for the start to finish, brand new map, brand new meta, and obviously, you know, they're very hard-working players, but I was very intimately involved with their progression. So I'd definitely say like the 6 in grands with Bryson Chubbs was great, but I also can't discount, you know, my first grand finals qualification that I got with Cyrus and Soneto, because you know, those guys were you know, it's just different, you know, it's their first time qualifying to grands, you know, they're hungry, they you know, they want it, so that was like a really cool moment, and I was really glad I got to share it with those guys. Oh, what makes a great pro? You know, I think I look at a lot, being a coach, I look at a lot of the intangible attributes that players possess, you know, so what is their like kind of like their mental strength like? How passionate are they about the game? What's their work ethic like? You know, but I think the big one is passion, man. Like, you're gonna be playing this game for at minimum 8 hours a day. You know, you gotta love it. You really have to love it. Oh, I mean, we're kind of the we do a lot of different things. You know, we wear several hats. You know, there's no really dedicated professionals, I would say, in this space, especially in Fortnite. So a lot of times I can be their therapist. I can be, you know, kind of a big brother figure, you know, giving them advice on just general stuff about like life and whatnot. But then, you know, beyond that, in terms of what the value that I actually can provide in the game, it just depends on the role that the players want me to take on. But for the most part, you know, I'm teaching them, you know, A to Z, like kind of how to play the game, and really restructuring how they perceive it. I don't think a lot of kids actually perceive Fortnite to be what it is, and I've seen kind of the click that happens for players when they really start to understand that, you know, Fortnite is a game about survival, not necessarily killing everybody you see. Oh man, so basically, I mean, Rise is probably one of my favorite players to watch on East. Like, I see a lot of the way that I want to play the game. I kind of see that in him. He's a very smart, very calculated player. Very good with teamwork, actually. So like that's big things that I kind of look for as well. He always it seems like he always has a plan. I think that's the one thing that people don't understand about IGLing in Fortnite is like you really should always be 2 or 3 steps ahead. You know, if you're in third zone, really you need to be thinking about what do we need to do now to set ourselves up to be in the best position possible, like to start our in game like well. You know, and a lot of times that starts from the very beginning of the game. So Rise's level of knowledge of the game, and just his ability to navigate difficult situations and stay calm kind of under pressure is like, he definitely like very good player. Makes him a very good player in my mind. But I'd also say, you know, on NA, Booga and Mira, of course, you know, Booga's one of the best IGL's best overall players to ever touch the game, period. And then on EU, I really like to watch Kami and Seti just for their general teamwork. They do, and the way that they play the game kind of together, and they play to like that strategy or that survival that I was talking about earlier. Like they're just Kami and Seti are the kings of that. And of course, I like watching, you know, Queasy and Vino, incredible team. So skilled at just every different like portion of the game. And of course, you can't forget about like some of the other big names like Janice and Rezon, Vino. Like, I mean, there's just so many players, especially on EU, that are just crazy. So, just everything he does, like it's really just his overall game knowledge. He's not the best at any one specific thing, but because he's so good at everything, you know, it allows him to navigate really complex and difficult situations without breaking much of a sweat. But the one thing that you'll find in common, I think, between all of the top players is just, you know, their ability to stay cool under pressure, you know, and to really be connected and be present in the moment and not worry about what's going to happen, you know, 10 seconds from now. You know, you want to like I was talking about earlier, you want to have a plan, you want to be thinking ahead, but you don't want to be ever like in a panicking state, you know. So I actually used to manage and operate a restaurant. So like my entire life I've been in, I guess, leadership positions. So I've kind of always looked, and I was a massive Kobe Bryant fan. I've always like idolized and looked up to guys that have like incredible work ethic and are like, you know, the solo guys that can achieve a lot. But I also looked into Phil Jackson a lot because I think Phil Jackson is the reason why Kobe really became Kobe. You know, Kobe talks about it in interviews, the power of mindfulness and meditation, and the ability for his team, like for Phil Jackson's teams, to be present and calm and in the moment, kind of like that Zen state, is like, that's kind of what Phil Jackson was known for, and that's kind of what I'm trying to develop with my players as well. I guess it's not anything that I purposely practice, but there are things that I do, like if I notice myself not being calm, like in a particular situation, to kind of bring myself back, you know? Yeah, so, I mean, to me, a coach is just somebody who is, you know, number one, first and foremost, I mean, they need to be knowledgeable in the game. They need to be able to actually talk to their players about, like, what's going on, and they need to have some level of understanding about what's happening in the game. I don't agree with this garbage that you have to be a pro to be a great coach. I mean, there's several coaches that you look across all of sports.